Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're going to be watching this another My Monday Mission. Um, Welcome back. If it's your first time here, welcome to another episode of My Monday Mission. My name is Jane Carla, and every Monday I sit down with incredible entrepreneurs to hear their stories, their wins, their lessons, and everything in between. So if you're looking for inspiration or strategies or just a real talk about what it really takes to build something great, you are in the right place. So let's dive in. So for today's episode, it's going to be something very special. I'm going to be featuring my business partner, Bridget. If you've been following me, you've probably seen some live sessions that I've done with her where we talk about a lot of things about the business, a lot of things about self growth and development. So I'm really, really excited to have her here with me today and share her story with you. It's going to be a good one. So stay until the end. So let me put her on stage now so she can introduce herself. Hi, Bridget. Good morning.
Good morning, Jane. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for saying yes and agreeing to be part of my Monday mission. So let's get right to it. Um, Give us a quick introduction of yourself, who you are, where you're from.
As I say, hello, everybody. My name is Bridget Gamise. I am a mom to she's now 20, turned 20 last Saturday. And I'm also a mom to a fur baby. But I'm also professionally a therapist and a life coach. And in business, I'm a digital business owner.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that brief introduction. So, tell us what your story is and what inspired you to pursue digital entrepreneurship.
Okay, wow. Thank you, Jane. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story. So, after years, I've been in the mental health professional arena for over 25 years. And during that time, I have helped many, many people to transform their lives and, make changes, positive changes to their way of life. And I've always seen my passion and my calling as being someone who helps people to break free from their limitations and live in their full potential authentically.
Mhm.
And that's what drove me to pursue a career in mental health as a mental health professional. That's what drove me to pursue a career to also work as a life coach. And so I've done that for many, many years. But one thing had always been limiting me. Despite my love for what I do, I always felt limited. And the limitation was because I believed that I had to be strong for everyone. I believed that, I'm the one who has to be strong. So what I did, this got me caught up in a cycle and a pattern of always being the one who's pouring into people, pouring into people's success, pouring into people's transformation, pouring, empowering, building other people, and helping other people to succeed. Now, there was nothing wrong with that. The only thing was I neglected my own success. I neglected my own building. I neglected my own stuff at the expense of, so this success of other people came at the expense of mine. And it always felt like I was the one who was always giving, always doing, always being the one who's supporting, encouraging. And I got to a point where I was very frustrated with this and disheartened and discouraged. And it was very painful for me. Because as much as I love my job and I love what I do and my calling and my purpose, it was hurting me.
Mhm.
It was hurting me to be the one to be doing this. So, and even as I talk, I feel close to tears because I just didn't realize what I was doing to myself. I just didn't realize what I was doing. It seems noble, but
Mhm.
it wasn't, because I was left out. I was the
Mhm.
one who was left out. So, cut a long story short, a few years ago, I was watching an advert for a faith-based
Mhm.
teaching program that they do, and the people who offer it are called Life on Fire, and they were talking about, they just advertised something about similar to what I was going through, being burnt out because you're giving so much, doing so much for others, but you feel left out. And when I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's me. And when I attended their training, I realized that I'd been giving to everybody what I really wanted, what I truly desired. And I'd been giving everybody the help and support that I really wanted. And what they taught me was, I can have it too.
Mhm.
My success and other people's success doesn't have to be at the expense of anyone. Me helping others does not have to be at the expense of my success, of my progress, of my transformation. So after I completed, so it was a mini course that I did. I completed that course and went on to transform my own life. I stopped, just being the one who's always giving, but I sought help. I sought support. I started building relationships in and outside work, where I'm supported, where I'm empowered, where I'm encouraged, where I am built. And my life totally changed, totally, because now I was a healthy giver.
Mhm.
I became a healthy giver.
Mhm.
A healthy giver is one who's constantly receiving and is able to give out of abundance rather than out of need.
Mhm.
So I got to that place, but now I've always had a desire for entrepreneurship. I come from an entrepreneurial family. So there's a lot of us who are in business. And I had tried many, many different business models and styles, but they never worked for me. Number one, because I was an overgiver, I was giving too much and wasn't being supported myself. But also the models that I got into were not supportive for someone like me.
Mhm.
So I got into MLMs.
Mhm.
I did try those. I tried
Mhm.
property. I tried. I'm trying to think what else I tried. I tried quite a variety of things, Jay. I was dipping into almost a lot of things. If it came up, I tried it. If it came up, I tried it.
Mhm.
But then I realized that I made a decision that if I was going to go into business, it would have to be a business that will allow me
Mhm.
to do things that work for me. That
Mhm.
number one, it's got to be a business where I can be supported, where
Mhm.
I can be built up, where I can be empowered,
Mhm.
where I can build those co-creative, collaborative relationships so that I can build the business.
Mhm.
It has to allow me to be built so that
Mhm.
I can build.
Mhm.
Because that's what works for me. And that's my value. That's the standard by which I have to do business and I do my life by now.
Mhm.
So all those models I told you about didn't work for me because they didn't have that. When I came across this model, it's been the only one that fit me. It's
Mhm.
the only one that fit the package of what I needed.
Mhm.
Now, don't get me wrong, I was skeptical at first because when I heard many businesses say we offer coaching, we offer mentoring, we offer this, we offer training, and I hadn't seen much of that in reality. It was quote unquote coaching. I'm a coach, so I know what coaching is.
Mhm.
Quote unquote mentoring. And it was like, we'll see you once a month and, you know, something like that, or it was a group thing,
Mhm.
which didn't work for me because everybody's individual. But in this business, it I'm so grateful for whoever started this model of doing business because it really caters for people like me.
Mhm.
What I found in this business was a model where not only was I given the training, so that built my knowledge about business. It built my confidence in knowing that I can do the business. It's a It's an affiliate marketing business. It's a attraction marketing. So I learned a lot about that. But and also the bonus. I want to list the bonuses that
Yeah. Go
business
ahead.
has given me. I'm doing a lot of talking, Jane. So feel free to jump in.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
So step by step training I was given built me up in the knowledge because I had no clue. I had no clue about this business.
Mhm.
So it built me up in knowledge. Second, I have you as my business partner and mentor, and we meet once a week. I'd never had that in any business. I'd never had, and you have supported me. You have built me uh, to know to know myself, to know what I bring to the business, to build, to fashion and mold the business into an authentic
Mhm.
business for me.
Mhm.
So I've taken the business and shaped it to fit me. I'd never done that with any business before.
Mhm.
That's why they didn't work because I was trying to fit into the business instead of find a business that fit me.
Mhm.
And this business fits me
Right.
because it accommodates me to be able to do what I do, which is empower people to break free from limitations and live in their full potential. I get to do that in this business. Oh my God, that for me, that's a wow.
Mhm.
That's a wow. So
Agree.
there's that. I also have a coach. She helps and supports me. I'm part of a community where they provide masterminds. There's so much empowerment, training, uh, stuff that builds you up not only as an entrepreneur in entrepreneurship. That means you get the knowledge and the wisdom and the ideas of how to function as an entrepreneur and build a successful business, but also to build myself along the way.
Mhm.
I am not left behind in this business.
No, you're not.
Bridget is very much present and healthy and a lot stronger and a lot more confident. If you came across me a year ago, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing with you now, what I'm doing with you now, because I couldn't even face the camera. I didn't have the confidence to face the camera to tell my story and tell you all this that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But thank God for a business that believes in building people to build business. That's what I get to experience. So
Mhm.
it's taken me from someone who thought that she had to know it all, do it all, be it all for herself, by herself, to someone who has been humbled to embrace support, embrace help, embrace empowerment, work collaboratively and co creatively with others. And I am so much further than I ever was in any business. And I am so grateful. I am so, so, so grateful that I was willing to take the opportunity and the chance to try something different. Yes, this was a totally different model. I'd never heard of this before. I'd never heard of this kind of company before. I'd never even heard of attraction marketing. I didn't know what that was. It was all foreign to me. But the one thing I knew is I desired success. I just didn't know what it looked like. I
Mhm.
didn't know what it looked like because number one, I really didn't know how I function in business and how I can take a business and make it work for me.
Mhm.
That's what works for me.
Mhm.
This business serves me.
Mhm.
It works for me. In the past, I was trying to work for a business
Exactly.
and burning myself out.
Yeah.
So here I am, Jay. I've built my own digital business that is healthy for me. I'm a healthy giver because I get poured into a whole lot abundantly. And I now get the opportunity to pour into others and be able to build others. So
Thank
that's my
you.
story.
Thank you so much. That is such an inspiring story. Thank you. And I just want to mention that it must have been really hard to admit in the beginning what you were going through, what you're going, what you were doing to yourself, because sometimes it's hard to admit to yourself that you're already hurting yourself because no one wants that.
Mhm.
And it must have and it you did a very brave thing, and you did that first step, which is investing in yourself, which led you to finally realize what you're lacking
Mhm.
and what you're doing to yourself. So I think that is a very important lesson for everyone who's watching. If you think that you're going through something, if you think that things are not going your way, maybe look inside instead of looking on what is happening on the outside, because most of the time it's an inner thing that's happening, and you don't even, that's why it's hard to realize it, because it's more on the inside. So do your, inner self work, because it could be life changing, just like what happened to you. So thank you so
Mm.
much for sharing that. And I think you've already touched on some of the you've already touched on the question that I'm going to ask next, but I want to dive more, like a little bit deeper on your answer to this question. My next question was going to be, what was your biggest deciding factor when you found this business online? And you mentioned about, the support, which
Mhm.
is a very, very important highlight of this business, because we say a lot of businesses say that they offer support, like you mentioned, but it's not the kind of support that we actually get here in this business. So thank you for mentioning that. And if you could talk more about that, and like what the kind of support that you're getting. I know you said the mentoring and you said the step by step training. Maybe dive deeper into that. Like be maybe go through more specifics, and about how you are able to build the business within your story,
Mhm.
within your own brand. How you're
Mhm.
able to make your own brand in this business, because I think that's one of the things that, for me, that attracted me to the business, because
Mhm.
when I realized that I could be my own brand and
Mhm.
I don't have to do what everyone else is doing,
Mhm.
I realized that I could shine, or I could stand out in my
Mm.
own story, in my own brand.
Yeah.
That for me was my deciding factor. I said
Mhm.
yes, because I'm not going to be about selling other people's products, because as much as I can learn the whatever product description or all the information about one product, it's not
Mhm.
mine.
Mm.
So it won't always feel as authentic. That for me is what the one of the highlights for me in this business. So maybe talk more about that, especially
Okay.
connecting to your profession, what you did before,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people will be able to relate to it, and hopefully you'll get inspired as well to you know get into this business knowing that they can be their own story and their own brand.
Okay. All right. So you've asked me a few questions. I'm going to do my best to answer it, give a
Yeah.
clear answer.
Mhm.
So I think it goes back again. I think everything that I start with for me is know yourself,
Mhm.
knowing myself. I knew myself as being this person that in everything that I do, as I said, I live by my purpose. I live my purpose. That's what I do
Mhm.
in everything. As a parent, I empower. I help my daughter to break free from limitations and live authentically in her full potential. I'm doing that everywhere,
Mhm.
and because I'm doing that everywhere, even in my job, I chose a job and a career that could fit me.
Mhm.
It had to fit me. I chose life coaching because it fit me. It could allow me to live out my purpose, to live out what I do naturally. Now, I had never found a business that could do that. And just like you're saying, now, because I didn't understand the lingo of business, that
Mhm.
being your own brand is that. It's taking something and putting your stamp on it. It
Mhm.
means that it's you authentically owning the business and being the business. You are the business. You know, my purpose, everything shines in this business. I,
Mhm.
I didn't know that concept. I thought I was very old fashioned in limited in my business understanding
Mhm.
that, you know, you take a business, you find a business and you try and fit into it.
Mhm.
You try and change yourself to fit the business, which is what I did when I first started this business. That's what I knew to do.
Mhm.
We were taught in school, you take a career and you choose a career and you fit into it. No, that's disempowering. What we're
Mhm.
meant to do is find a career that fits you, that
Yes.
fits your natural abilities, that is authentic to you. That means you can shine authentically in it. Everything about you is, is magnified in that. And that's what happens in me as a therapist and as a life coach. Everything about me is magnified in that. I shine. I'm like a fish in water when I'm doing what I do. It's natural to me. So I had to find a business that could do that. And so what I had to learn though, and I learned this really well through you. So I'm so grateful to you because you really taught me that what it's like on a practical level to bring my authenticity. I mean, I was wary to share my background, my expertise as a therapist and a life coach. But I get to do that now because there are people in this business who are struggling with limited mindsets, who are struggling with limitations in the way they perceive themselves, in the way whatever limitations they are, even in growing the business.
Mhm.
I've been helping people to change mindsets, and I get to do that because that's natural to me. That's what I do.
Mhm.
And if you're, I didn't know that I could do that. I thought it was just I'm coming into this and learning about products and whatever it is and marketing the business, not knowing that I am the business. And that's the difference. That's and that liberty and that freedom to be able to be myself is what's really allowed me to progress and grow in
Mhm.
the business. But I had to have someone teach me because I didn't know. I
Mhm.
didn't know what all this looked like. I
Mhm.
didn't know what all this was. This
Mhm.
branding. I
Mhm.
Branding to me is authenticity.
Yes.
That's what I equated to now. It's taking your authenticity and allowing it to be shown in a business way so that
Mhm.
you can do business in a way that's aligned with you, your values, your personality, your everything about you gets to shine in that business
Mhm.
to the benefit of someone else, where you
Mhm.
can serve others. And
Mhm.
I get to serve in
Yes.
a healthy way because not only do I get to serve, but I get people serving me and empowering me. So it's
Mhm.
an unending, uh, I feel an unending stream
Yes.
just poured into all the time, and you get to, it's not painful to pour out
Yes.
because you are full and you're overflowing. You get to to share out of your overflow rather than I need help. I have so much. So in terms of brand building and being authentic, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a mom, whether you're of course other professional backgrounds, it's really identifying that thing about you. It's
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
that gets to shine in the business.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that. And I'm glad I do now because it set me free, literally. It's liberated me from trying to be something because I really thought I had to be something else
Mhm.
for business to work. That's what I did in all the other businesses. I was trying to be something else.
Mhm.
How am I supposed to behave? How am I supposed to look? How am I supposed to be? How am I how? It didn't exist because I just had to be me, and that's what I get to be in this business. I just get to be me.
Yeah.
I
Thank
hope
you so
that
much.
answers your question, Jay.
You did. That is very, very inspiring. And I think one of the things that stuck to me that you said is finding a business that really fits you. Because it makes sense because I am a performer, I'm a dancer, and I've stayed in this career for a very long time because it fit me. It fit what I love to do. And I think that's the only way for you to be successful in anything. It has to fit you, it has to fit your values, it has to align with your vision. And it's clear to say, and it's safe to say that this business has given that to you. So thank you so much for sharing that. So moving on to my next question, what was your biggest challenge that you faced when you started this online business? Talk about maybe just one or two, your biggest challenge in this business, and how were you able to overcome that, and what have you learned?
Okay. I think I've already touched on that in terms of Um, sorry, I'm just concerned about the sun because it's
Oh,
a
that's
beautiful
okay.
day in England, so
It's
the sun is
shining, shining really, really good on you.
so I'm not sure you can see me very well because
Yeah,
it's
I can
the
see you. It's like
but
clearly.
it's
Yeah.
when the sun shines it comes in England we
Yes.
grab it.
Yes, we
And
do.
I'm
We do.
grabbing
That's
it.
what I'm gonna do after this. I'm gonna bake in the sun after this. You have your own natural spotlight, so feel free.
Yeah, it's on me today.
Yes, yes, it's on you. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think I touched on this. I think it ties in with the whole issue of authenticity and allowing myself to just be myself.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really faced that was challenging early on was to show myself
Mm-hmm.
as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so that limited me in terms of just being free to as I say, to share my skill, to share my abilities, to share my wisdom, to share my knowledge, to share my expertise in empowering other people. I was very wary to do that
Mm-hmm.
because I've never been in a business that had taught me that being yourself is powerful. I'd always been taught you've got to learn the business. You learn the business,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
learn about the business.
Yes.
Like the business is this thing over there that you've got to spend your life really pouring yourself into. But
Yes.
this time, this was different because what I had to learn here was to really get comfortable. Not get comfortable, that's the wrong word. Get confident.
Confident. Yeah.
I was building confidence, not comfort, because we don't grow in comfort. So I had to actually allow myself to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And the thing that I'm so glad that you're a performer because that part of you has really been helpful to me to
Mm-hmm.
bring out my and allow me to gain confidence in, for example, doing things like this, being able to have an interview, being able to show myself confidently in front of the camera. I was not, if a year ago, you can have a look on my Facebook page. There's very limited visibility of me on there. And there's a reason why, because I was learning the business.
Mm-hmm.
I was focused on learning the business
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot me in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I focused more on learning and it wasn't wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with learning the techniques
Yeah.
but for the business to succeed, it's building me in
Mm-hmm.
being more of me in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's not work being me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard work being Bridget.
Mm-hmm.
I am Bridget and will forever be Bridget. This is not laborer. I'm not laboring to be me. So the easiest thing I can do is be me. But I was so afraid. I was so afraid that that would mess up the business.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, what that taught me, and I'm so grateful to you and my coach for really teaching me to the whole idea what branding and authenticity looks like, because that's what's built me to now find my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a voice. I have a vision that involves me rather than just building the business. So now what I've done is I use the business. The business helps me to do what I do. It's part of my vision and my mission to the world to bring more of what I do, which is empowering people to break from limitations and live authentically in their full potential. I get to do that in this business. I'm not trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to avoid it, which was what I was doing before. I was avoiding that. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not allowed to do that. But I'm so glad that with your gentle teaching and encouragement and in the community, seeing how uh, individuality, authenticity is celebrated and built up, and people focus on that. I'm so glad that I've got to a place where I'm more free to be myself
Mm-hmm.
and even more in a state of success than I was
Mm-hmm.
when I started. Because it doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't take much to be yourself.
Yep, exactly. And I put it in the text because that really struck me when you said being yourself is powerful. That is such a true statement, and I think it's easy to forget that.
Yeah.
I think you've touched on a lot for my next question, which is how has the business impacted or changed your life? you've talked about it a lot when it comes to health wise and self development and growth. But can you do you if you're gonna put it in one word, like
Mm.
one powerful word, what would be the word that could um, describe the change and the impact of this business, seeing yourself now compared to before you started the business?
Okay. So I suppose the way I can describe it is I have more.
More.
I have more. And I remember seeing the advert for when that you put out the when I first saw your advert on YouTube that says, "Do you desire more?"
Yeah.
And that really caught me because that's really what I wanted. I wanted more,
Mm-hmm.
and I have found my more. I have more. I have more health.
Mm-hmm.
I now work 3 days a week. I used to work 5 days when I started. I work 3 days a week. Physically, I am healthier. I have more physical health than I was. When I started this business, I was burnt out
Mm-hmm.
physically. I actually found the business while I was off sick
Mm-hmm.
for 4 weeks
Mm-hmm.
of work because I was burnt out. And so uh, just having the business has allowed me to shift priorities that I don't have to work as much as I did because I want that's the thing that I wanted. Wanted more freedom, time freedom, which is
Mm-hmm.
what I have now. I have more freedom and time
Mm-hmm.
to do what I really truly matters to me, what I truly love,
Mm-hmm.
which is my purpose. I'm getting to do this a whole lot more. So I spend more time doing what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have more availability. I'm more available to my family. I mean, I have a brother with 3 kids, so I love helping out. I'm very, very family orientated. So my daughter is a priority. I get to make time for the
Mm-hmm.
things that matter to me. I have more time. If you come to me a year ago, so where am I going to get the time to do that? I have more time.
Mm-hmm.
I have more time. I have more health, and also this business has opened up an avenue for financial freedom for me.
Mm-hmm.
So financial health is something that I get to build now,
Mm-hmm.
which I I I was not in a state of financial health. I love my job. It gave me a good salary, but it wasn't enough
Mm-hmm.
because I have so much more that I wanted to do. So this business is allowing me the opportunity to have more
So
financial.
is it, I want to say that has this business allowed you to have more, be more, and give more? And I think that whole statement just, you know, really says it all. Yeah.
Absolutely. I am being more of who I am. I am doing more of what I love, and I have more of what I really want. I have more. So thank you so much for reminding because that's my thing, be, do, and have it. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. I'm living what I desired. And for me, I mean, as I'm talking, the only way for me is up. There's no other way. The only way you can go in this business is up.
Mm-hmm.
Being more of yourself, doing more of what you truly love, even if it's being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I get to be a mom, I get to be available. I get to be an aunt,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's you want to write books. And I'm a writer too. So now I'm freeing myself to I'm doing more content. I'm doing more, stuff that I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I get to do more of what I love.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
So what do you think is your advice to anyone who is thinking but it's scared or
mm,
skeptical to explore this business opportunity? What's your advice to them? One thing that you think, that could help them in their deciding process.
okay. So there's a couple of things I'll say is if you've waited and you've been waiting, the only thing that can do is more waiting. Waiting will never change anything.
Mhm.
I waited for years to find something, and waiting will not do anything. I think the thing that you have to be willing to do is understand, number one, that it's normal for us as human beings to struggle with self doubt. I struggled from self doubt. That's normal. None of us is exempt. So when you're experiencing skepticism, it's just another form of doubt. You're just doubting. You already doubt yourself, and now you're going to doubt. Because you doubt yourself, you're going to doubt many things. You're going to doubt what comes along. You're going to doubt people. It's a normal thing to experience doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're experiencing self-doubt and questioning whether you can do your own business, whether you have the capacity, whether you're good enough, whether you're able enough to create a successful business, my advice to you is get help. That's what works for everyone. That's what worked for me. Get help, help, the right support, the right insight, and the right transformational tools will help you break free from self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
What helped me with skepticism was getting the right information. I did my due diligence. I researched this company. I researched. I did my work. I talked to you, my mentor, and my coach. I got as much information as possible. So don't ignore your skepticism. Give yourself Give yourself the opportunity to get the right information. Don't ignore your self doubt. Give yourself the opportunity to be supported, to break free from that. You can break free from self doubt. You can. So, having done that, giving yourself the opportunity, because you'll get people helping you and supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
Allow yourself to be taught. Allow yourself to be supported. You are not meant to know it all. Nobody does.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does. You're not meant to do it all, know it all, or be it all. No.
Mm-hmm.
When other people who have been where you want to be are willing to support you and help you, that will empower you with insight, knowledge, tools, and encouragement, motivate, all that stuff that you need to keep yourself moving and build something. The beauty about this business, it comes packed with everything. It comes with step-by-step training. It comes with a mentor and a coach to support you in your journey. It comes with weekly webinars that you get to learn how to build a millionaire a millionaire mindset and transform your mindset. It comes with everything. You don't have to be it all. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to do it all. Allow yourself to be the supporter. The only thing you need is to be ready for change. If you are ready for change, that's all. That's the only part that you have to play. Be ready for change and acknowledge your readiness for change and tap in. How do you tap in? Sign up. Sign up and watch the webinar that tells you about this business. Sign up. Get connected to someone.
How
Get
can
yourself.
how can people reach to you? Like,
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So you can see my name. I've put my name on there and the website that you can sign up on. If you go onto that website, www.breezehighflyers.com, you can log in your email address and your contact details on there. You can then watch a 90-minute webinar on there. It's 90 minutes, but it gives you the opportunity to learn about the business. It gives you the opportunity to then sign up to learn more and get more and access more on our platform by simply paying in 149 pounds. And all that does for you is it allows you access into what I'm telling you about. All the stuff that I've told you, it gives you access. For 149 for a lifetime access to unending training, unending support, unending empowerment. That's a deal of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So give yourself the opportunity. Nobody will if you don't give it to yourself.
Thank
That's what
you.
I have to say, Jay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You've given so much insight and so much um, inspiration. Even hearing you now and um, looking back to when we met a year ago and hearing you now speak very confident. It it's very it's to me it's just inspiring to see and it's inspiring to watch. And thank you so much for giving your time, sharing your time to be a part of my Monday mission. Is there anything else that you want to impart, like last few words before we end this live?
It's gratitude. I want to say thank you to the founders of the platform that I'm on. Thank you to the founders of the business that I work with. And thank you to you because you have been so instrumental in my journey to get here. It touches me. I feel tears in my eyes because you've walking with you has been a journey of humility, to learn, to receive, to to be empowered, to be encouraged. Thank you so much for your willingness to pour into me. And that's really it. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And it's been such a pleasure having you here. Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you for having me.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.
All right, and that is a wrap for today's Monday mission. It's been really, really good and another inspiring story to tell. I hope you got as much value and inspiration from this conversation as much as I did. If you love today's session, please don't forget to hit that follow button, share this live with someone who needs to hear it, and drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I would love to hear them. And if you're curious about how you can start your online business, build passive income, and work from anywhere, visit my website, janecarlo.com. You'll find all the tools, resources, and support you will need to get started. So I hope to see you all again next Monday for another inspiring chat. And until then, keep dreaming big and taking bold action. You got this. See you next Monday. Bye bye.